guys, this is gonna be part 14 of A Dog's Purpose. Let's get this show on the road. Oh, and also I paint my nails red. Aren't they pretty? Yeah. Okay, let's get going. Now though the boy opened the gate, hoisting himself up with a grin. "Let's go, Billy," he called down to me. I followed, feeling surly. I didn't like that Flair suddenly was getting all the attention, that I was so far away from the boy, forced to walk beside the huge creature who I had come to conclude was just as dumb as the ducks. I especially didn't appreciate it when, with a flick of her tail, Flair dropped a smelly pile of poo on the road, narrowly missing me. I left my leg on it because it now, after all, belonged to me, but I felt fairly certain the horse had meant the thing as an insult. Soon we were off-road in the woods, walking along a trail. I chased down a rabbit and would have caught it if it hadn't cheated by suddenly changing direction. I smelled more than one chuck and Hoffley refused to take even a single nip in that direction. We stopped at a small pool, and Flair and I drank, and later the boy ate his sandwich, tossing me the crust. "Isn't this great, Bailey? Are you having a good time?" I watched his hands, wondering if his crushing tone indicated he was trying to feed me some more sandwich. Aside from the fact that we had Flair with us, I was really enjoying myself. Of course, just getting away from the stupid Flip was reason in and of itself to celebrate, but after several hours we were so far from home I could no longer smell any sign of it. I could tell that Flip was getting wary, but from the boy's attitude I concluded we still had a way to go to reach our destination. At one point, Ethan said, "Do we go this way or that way? Do you remember, Billy? Do you know where we are?" I looked up at him expectantly, and after a moment we were continuing on, picking up a trail that had many animal scents on it. I mowed so many territory my leg was sore from being lifted into the air. Flair stopped and let loose with a huge gush of urine, which I felt was entirely inappropriate behavior, since her scent would have blent mine and I was a dog. I wandered up ahead to clear the smell from my nose. I topped a small rise, and that's when I saw the snake. It was coiled in a patch of sun, sticking its tongue out, slithering, and I stopped dead. Fascinated, I never seen one before. I bowed, which caused no reaction whatsoever. I tried back to the boy, who had Flair under way again. "What is it, Bailey? What did you see?" I decided that whatever the boy was saying, it was "Go bite the snake." I slid next to Flair, who was plodding along expressly and wondering how she would react when she saw the snake curl up in front of her. At first she didn't see it, but then as she approached, the snake suddenly pulled back, lifting its head, and that's when Flair screamed. Her front legs came off the ground and she spun, kicking, and the boy went flying off her back. I ran to him at once, of course, but he was okay. He jumped to his feet. "Flair!" he shouted. I watched seriously as the horse retreat at a full gallop, her hoofs pounding the dirt. When the boy took off running, I understood that what was needed, and Flair ahead in hot pursuit, but the horse kept going, and soon the gap between me and the boy was too great, and I turned back to be with him. "Oh no," the boy was saying, but the no wasn't for me. "Oh God, what are we going to do, Bailey?" To my utter dismay, the boy started crying. He did his less and less as he had gotten older, which made it all the more upsetting now. I could feel his utter despair, and I shoved my face into his hands, trying to comfort him. The best thing I decided would be for us to go home and eat more chicken. The boy eventually stopped crying, looking blankly around the woods. "We're lost, Bailey." He took a drink of water. Well, okay, come on." Apparently the walk wasn't over, because we set out in an entirely new direction, not at all the way from which we come. We went a long way into the woods, at one point crossing our own scent, and still the boy plodded on. I grew so weary that when a squirrel darted out right in front of me, I didn't even bother to chase it. I just followed the boy, who I could tell was also getting tired. When the light began to fade from the sky, we sat down on a log and ate the last of the sandwiches, careful of feeding me a hunk. I'm really sorry, Bailey. Just before dark, the boy became interested in sticks. He began dragging sticks over to the tree that had blown over, shaking them up against the wall of mud and gathering roots. He piled pine needles on the ground, and underneath his company and sat more sticks on top. I watched curiously, ready despite my vacuum to chase one if he threw it, but he just stayed focused on his task. When it became too dark to see, he climbed in the pine needles. Here, Bailey, come here. I crawled in beside him. It reminded me of the doghouse. I remembered Grandpa's chair, wondering why he couldn't just go home and sleep there. But the boy soon started to shiver, and I put my head on top of him and eased my belly onto his back, and the way I used to lie on my brothers and sisters when they were cold. Good job, Bailey, he told me. Soon his breathing became deep and he stopped shivering, though I wasn't exactly perfectly comfortable. I carefully lay in the position to keep him warm as possible. Though the night we were up with the birds starting to call, and before it was even fully light, we were already walking again. I sniffed hopefully at the sack, fooled by the smells, but when the boy let me put my head inside, I found nothing to eat. We'll save it in case we need to make a fire, he told me. I translated this to me, we need more sandwiches, and thumped my tail in agreement. The nature of our adventure changed that day. The hunger in my belly grew to be a sharp pain. The boy cried again, sniffing for about an hour. I could feel anxiety wafting through him, followed by a sullen, ethnic empathy, and I found just as alarming when he sat down and stared at me with glassy eyes. I looked him full in the face. I was worried about my boy. We needed to go home now. We came to a small stream, and the boy flopped down on his stomach, and we drank thirstily. The water gave the boy both energy and purpose. When we set off again, we were following the stream, which twisted and turned through the trees, and at one point, though, a meadow full of stinging bugs. The boy turned his face to the sun and increased his pace, hope surging through him, but his shoulders slumped when, after an hour or so, the stream lay the dark woods. We spent the nights clinging to each other as before. I smelled a carcass nearby, something old but probably edible, but I didn't leave the boy. He needed my warmth more than ever. His strength was leaving him. I could feel it in buying anyway. I'd never been so afraid. The next day the boy stumbled a few times while he walked. I smelled blood. His face had been wiped by a branch. I sniffed at it. Go away, Bailey, he yelled at me. I felt anger and fear and pain coming from him, but I didn't back away. I stayed right there, and I knew I'd done the right thing when he buried his face in my neck and cried some more. We're lost, Bailey. I'm so sorry, the boy whispered. I worried at my name. The little stream wandered into a boggy area, lost all definition, making for mucky travels. The boy sank up to his calves so that his feet made a sucking sound as he pulled them out. Bugs descended on us, landing in our eyes and ears. Midway across the swamp, the boy had stopped. His shoulders sagged, his chin dropping. The air left his lungs in a long, deep sigh. Distress. I picked my way through the slimy area as quickly as I could, putting a paw on his leg. He was giving up. An overwhelming sense of defeat was building with him, and he was surrounding to it. He was losing his very will to live. He was like my brother, hungry, lying down that last time in the covert, never to get back up again. I barked suddenly both the boy and me. His dull eyes blinked at me. I barked again. Okay, he muttered, lifting. He drew his foot out of the mud and tenderly set it down, sinking again. It took us more than half the day to cross the swamp. When we picked up the stream on the other side of the bog, it moved water with more purpose, becoming deeper and faster. Soon another trickle joined in, and then another, so that the boy had to make a running start to keep across when a drowned tree blocked his path on one side or another. Each sleep seemed to make him tired, and we wound up taking a nap for a few hours. I lay with him, staring. The boy wouldn't wake up, but he did, rousing himself slowly. "You're a good dog, Bailey," he told me, his voice hoarse. It was late in the afternoon when the stream joined a river. The boy stood and looked blankly at the dark water for a long time, when aimed at us downstream, pushing through grasses and thickly choked trees. Night was just starting to fall when I picked up the scent of men. At this point, Ethan seemed to be walking without purpose, his feet scuffling numbly in the dirt. Each time he fell, he took longer and longer to get back up, and he resigned nothing when I darted to hit my nose to the ground. "Come on, Bailey," he mumbled. "Where are you going?" I think he didn't even notice when we crossed the footpath. He was squirming in the fading light, trying to keep from tripping, and I sensed nothing from him for several seconds when the grass underfoot became a well-trod trail of dirt. I could smell several different men, all of them old scents, but as clear to me as the track of children up and down the streets back home. Then suddenly the boy strained, taking in a breath. "Hey," he said softly, his gaze sharply on the path. Now that I had a firm sense of where we were going, I trod on ahead a few yards, my fagute lifting with the boy's rising excitement. Both the trail and the river were bending in parallel to the right, and I kept my nose down, noticing how the man smell was becoming both more strong and more recent. Someone had been here not long ago. Ethan stopped, so I went back to him. He was standing, his mouth open. "Wow," he said. I realized there was a bridge across the river as I watched a figure broke out of the gloom and walked along the railing, peering at the water. Ethan's heart rate ticked up. I could hear it. His excitement, though, faded into fear, and he shrank back, reminding me of my first mother's reaction when we would come across a man while we were hunting. "Bailey, be quiet," he whispered. I didn't know what was going on, but I sensed his mood. It was the same thing that had happened at home the night he got the gun out and poked it into all the closets. I looked at him alert. "Hey," the man on the bridge called. I felt the boy stiffen, getting ready to run away. "Hey," the man shouted again. "Are you Ethan?" 12. The man on the bridge gave us a car ride. "We've been searching the whole state of Michigan for you, son," he said. Ethan looked down, and from him I sensed sadness and shame and a little fear. We drove to a big building, and as soon as we stopped, Dad opened the car door, and he and Mom hugged Ethan, and Grandma and Grandpa were there, and everyone was happy, though there was no dog treats of any kind. The boy sat in a chair with wheels, and a man pushed him into the building, and just before he went inside, the boy turned and waved at me, and thought it was just probably okay, though I felt pretty anxious to be separated from him. Grandpa felt tight to my collar, so I didn't have any choice in the matter. Grandpa took me for a car ride, and I was a front seat dog. We went to a place where they handed Grandpa a delicious smelling snack through his window, and he fed me dinner right there in the car, unwrapping hot sandwiches and handing them to me one at a time. He ate one too.